feel honored to be part of it. Any recognition that I get now, I like to offer it up to my friends and the people that were killed and didn't make it back.
Well, you know, it's still very vivid to me. The entire country was at war.
The sacrifices people made in those days, people that weren't in the service and on the battlefronts, they had to accept that they had to go, that they had to leave that whole area. They willingly went because we were there to defend our country.
I don't like war. I don't think it's too much of war. We were there. We had to be there.
You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you.
Most of us in the United States wanted to go in as young fellas. Went to France about 2 weeks after D-Day. I joined a division right before St. Lo. It was heavy fighting until we broke out, what we call the breakout of St. Lo. A lot of casualties and a lot of tanks being destroyed.
I had a very interesting career in the Army, and I'm a proud receiver of the French Legion of Honor. I'm a Chevalier, that's a knight. I was part of the all-Norwegian 99th Infantry Battalion, which was under the direct control of the general that was the head of the U.S. First Army, and that was General Bradley.
We took off for the invasion the day before it was supposed to be. They decided to do it on June 6th, so we took off on June 5th. What we carried were 4 swimming tanks, they called them. They were actually Sherman tanks. They had a flotation collar around them to keep them afloat, and they were supposed to be dropped 5,000 yards offshore. We were at Omaha, which was the worst beach.
I was lieutenant junior grade when I retired from the Navy. Everyone went, so you knew you had to go. And I became a member of the amphibious force. I was a small boat officer, that's what they called us. I always remember the day we left. We got in the boats and we sailed for France.
Some of us landed on the 17th of June, which was D+11. We went on foot, and I, being a lead scout, was out front. The Americans landed on, here's Point de Houx, and here's the Omaha Beach, and here's the Utah Beach. Cherbourg played a tremendous part of the success in Normandy. Nobody got to a city faster than the Americans got to Cherbourg.
In Cherbourg, on the beach, we went there from D-Day until the middle of August. I was telling them where to go, and what to do, and how to do it. We took men into the beaches. We took them right down the cargo nets and landed them right on the Dog Red or Easy Green or whatever beach they were going to.
This is a map of E Company 32nd Armored Regiment, our combat trail. All of the trails in yellow, I was assigned as an assistant tank driver. It was a very, very confined area. We used to have to sleep in our tank. And it was cold in the tank in the winter and hot in the summer. My tank went into a big bomb crater and we were forced to evacuate it. And while on the ground, I was hit with shrapnel. When they sent me back to the outfit, they made me a tank commander with the grade of sergeant, first class, 3 stripes.
We went from just south of Falaise through Argentine and Alençon, and on the drive to the Seine. We reached the precipice over Elbeuf, And they said, well, there's only one way we're going into Elbeuf. I had to carry this damn 300, which weighs about 40 pounds, on my back and go down this cliff. The colonel, whose name was Robert Turner, he said, you can't make the phone call, then you're going to go on your own and find 2nd Armored. And so I went alone through uncharted, unoccupied land. I was scared to death. There was a Tiger tank looking right straight up the road. I dumped all the stuff I had, and then I ran like hell. Pretty soon, I'm where I can't see the tank anymore. Free French soldiers came out and they wrapped their arms around me. They virtually carried me the west way up the hill, and they know where the 2nd Armored outpost was because they'd been doing their part to free France. It saved the city of Elbeuf from getting bombed. I got back and I got all kinds of pats on the back. I said, well, what now? The captain of a C company said, the war goes on. So I went back to C company, and that was the end of that.
I became a motor machinist mate first class. 3 of us had to be with the 3 engines, continuous, cleaning one center up and turning to the other and so forth. I knew we hit the beach, and the Germans let us know we were there. When I was on, we walked as far as we could toward Caen, but that was my voyage on French soil.
Another unit would come up and relieve you for a while, and you'd go pull back for a rest. We were able to fraternize with the French people, and my experience was great. Everybody was congenial. They were happy as hell to see us.
I was on guard duty on the escape hatch for the main hospital. Across the street was a very nice little house with a porch and a 16-year-old daughter. Her name was Yvette Bouchard. She taught me French and I taught her English. Her father was a baker and he made French pastries.
The French people were very nice. There was a family of, I think, 4, and they took me in. My mother used to put me in the bed at night, and she says, this is your mademoiselle. And she put a warm brick in there. They never forgot us.
After the invasion, we were allowed to write letters, and I didn't know until I was discharged in 1946 that my mother had this put in the local paper. Not traveling as much as we'd like to, but I really would like to go back to Normandy.
When you got back to Caen and Bayeux and these towns, they were so devastated. The smell of death, you'd never forget. I hate to think of it, and I hope your generation never has to go through it. There'll be wars and rumors of wars, but there won't be any like that.
Family has always been important to me. I have one granddaughter who graduated from Scranton University in the ROTC, and she graduated as 2nd lieutenant, and I gave her her first salute. I think the only reason we were able to endure it was the fact that we were young. The world was at such a place that we all wanted to be there and do whatever we could.
No matter what happens, the war is not the answer. Some guys never made it. I was lucky. I was very lucky. But I did my job. I think that I served my country, my God well.